It's midday right here in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Lunchtime Politics. I'm Jeffrey Uzoma. There's a lot happening in the world of politics. I have a simple responsibility to bring you up to speed, help you binge through the biggest highlights, and make sense of the situation. But let's get started with the headlines. 3 passengers die following a derailment of a train on the Warri-Itakpe train service. Federal government condemns anti-African sentiment, says retaliation against South Africa not off the table following xenophobic attacks. And President Bola Tinubu administers oath of office to Minister of Power and his counterpart, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, at the State House in Abuja. Just before we get started with politics, let's tell you what has played out in one of our services. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has confirmed that 4 persons have lost their lives, while 24 others sustained injuries following yesterday's train accident along the Warri-Itakpe Road corridor near Agbo in Delta State. As new investigations begin into the cause of the tragedy, survivors have been recounting their terrifying moment leading up to the derailment, while officials continue recovery operations at the scene. Nearly 24 hours after, the scale of destruction remains evident, with NRC personnel working to clear the wreckage. Tree branches are being cut down to create access routes for heavy equipment, while workers carefully offload passengers' luggage and personal belongings onward delivery to their owners. The accident left scattered debris, twisted metal, and damaged train components littering the area, serving as a stark reminder of its impact that claimed 4 lives out of 482 persons on board, including passengers, crew members, security personnel, and service providers. So far, the 24 people who sustained injuries are receiving treatment at the hospital. And as Nigeria joins other African nations in evacuating its citizens from South Africa following weeks of xenophobic violence, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu, has emphasized that the federal government is considering retaliatory measures. Speaking with State House correspondent while leaving President Bola Tinubu's office, the minister says efforts to evacuate Nigerians are on course, even as the number of those who want to leave continues to rise. He also frowned at suggestions that most Nigerians living in the country are illegal immigrants or migrants, expressing Nigeria's displeasure with the response of the South African government.
The repatriation is on course. Mr. President himself has reiterated the fact that this aircraft must come to South Africa, and our citizens who are imperiled will have the chance of getting on this aircraft to be brought back to their country. The figures keep increasing. There are several processes, as you know, that have to be undertaken by South African Homeland Security. They ensure that we screen our citizens who want to return. They also are part of the screening process. And once the citizens are cleared, they are given a paper that indicates that they are free to go, essentially. So once this situation started getting worse, the president directed that a crisis response unit be immediately set up within our consulate and also the Nigerian mission in Pretoria. Our citizens are being harassed. Our citizens, their properties are being looted. Criminal actions are perpetuated on our citizens. The police refuse to do anything. The South African government has not come out strongly, firmly enough to condemn these incidents. So our citizens are imperiled. They are in distress. So they cannot be said to be illegal migrants. People who are doing legitimate business have their shops looted. They have their shops set on fire. Children cannot go to school because they are intimidated in their schools. That is a situation that we are considering. This is up to our legislature. This is up to the highest. This is a decision that has to be taken at the highest level of government, but it's not off the table.
So, what will be the next line of action if the xenophobic attack continues on Nigerians living in South Africa? We'll get to see much later. But let's tell you how President Bola Tinubu has sworn in two newly appointed ministers, Mr. Shola Onikonlaye and as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and Mr. Joseph Tegbe as Minister of Power. The swearing-in ceremony took place at the President's office in the State House. Speaking immediately after the short ceremony, the Minister of Power said the federal government will make sure Nigerians get the service they deserve, while the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs also touched on one of his immediate tasks.
President Bola Tinubu has invested so much in the last 3 years in this sector. However, we are going to be commissioning projects and ensure that the vulnerables are covered, and also will make sure that whatever it requires, we make sure that Nigerians actually get the service they deserve in the power sector. I said it during my Senate confirmation that I'm not promising a magic wand. I'm not promising 24 hours, 7 days a week power. We will get there ultimately. But what I promised Nigerians was I will see visible improvement. And I can tell you, Nigerians have been giving me feedback. In the last 4 weeks, power supply has improved across Nigeria. And this is due to the push by the president. And the power is put behind me. And also the commitment of our people. Nigerians should please bear with us. The president understands the challenges. We're addressing those challenges, and we'll make sure we fix it, both in generation, transmission, and distribution.
One of the major immediate tasks that we are going to address is to attempt to restore professionalism to the Minister of Foreign Affairs by addressing what I call internal systems and processes and the policy framework aimed at strengthening the institution of the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
All right, so I like part of the comments the Minister of Power just said, because politicians are notorious with respect to making promises they can't keep, even sometimes at the presidential level. Even the president has made promise. When I heard it, I was like, no, Mr. President, you know you can't keep this promise. I will tell exactly the promise. When he went to Plateau State, and the woman, remember the incident that very disgraceful incident of those heinous crimes committed in part of Jos, the Plateau State capital, where the woman was holding, I think, her only son. And the president said, I saw the video, and there's nothing I can do to bring him back. There's nothing I can pay back. What we can do, I'll promise you, it will never happen again. When the president said that, I said, no, Mr. President shouldn't have said that, because you know that's not going to happen. As though I knew what was going, because we haven't done what we should do as a country. Barely 24 hours, somebody was killed. Weeks later, more people were killed. So when the Minister of Power said, I'm not promising you a magic wand, but what I can promise you is improved power. So we need to now help him say, give us milestones. When you say improved power, what are you talking about? Are you talking about, where are we? We have 13,000 megawatts installed capacity of power. We only distribute, say, between 4.5 to 5 to maximum 6 because of very dilapidated transmission system. So give us a milestone, not just open-ended improvement. In 1 year, can we add one more? In next year, can we do 7,000? The next year, can we do 8 or 9,000? That way, else everybody can just be saying, I say improved. And not even the president is being held to account right now, because he said, if I don't give you power when I come for next election, don't vote for me, especially if my explanations are not tenable. So it's our job, you and I, as journalists and you as citizens, to hold the government to account what they say. But let's tell you how that as more positive reaction continue to trail the rescue of more than 350 abductees from Ngoshe in Borno State, the governor of the state, Babagana Zulum, has commended the federal government, the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the Department of State Services for the rescue. Governor Zulum gave the commendation during a visit to the victims at Polka community, where residents of Ngoshe are currently taking refuge. According to him, efforts to reconstruct and rehabilitate the community are already underway. He also confirmed that the latest batch of released victims comprises over 350 persons, while about 82 others had earlier regained their freedom in smaller groups over the period of abduction.
On the 4th of March 2026, suspected Boko Haram insurgents attacked Ngoshi, a community in Goza local government area of Borno State, abducting over 400 persons, including women and children. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, visits the displaced persons at the Polka IDP camp, where he spent a night with them. He also provided them with food and non-food items while pledging improved security and the return of abducted members of the community.
I advise the people of this community to be patient as the federal government of Nigeria, in partnership with the state government, will do everything possible to secure this community. This is the most important message that I want to send.
Governor Zulum is visiting the camp for the third time. This time is to celebrate the release of the abductees.
We are here to felicitate the Ngosha community following the release of the abducted women and children, numbering about 434. What we saw this morning is about 360 that were released 2 days ago. But some weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago, we have also received about 82, totaling about 434. I want to express my deepest appreciation on behalf of the government and people of Borno State, and on behalf of the Goza community in general, to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for all the efforts that he has been making in ensuring return of peace and stability, not only to Borno State, but Nigeria in general.
He gave further details on the plan to rebuild the community after the abduction.
As the governor of Borno State a few days ago, some months ago, I was here and I have commiserated with them. Government has released millions of naira in rehabilitating the destroyed community of Ngoshe, and so far so good. The local government chairman is doing very well, and the work is about to be completed. Furthermore, we are here to support them with relief material, food and non-food items.
The residents are looking forward to the release of the remaining abductees alongside the students of Musa Primary and Junior D Secondary School in Askira Obaluku government area of the state.
We've been driven by vision, by ambition. We've set out to leave things better.
All right, let's bring in our guest. Mr. Habibu Mailemo is an NDC member, also the spokesperson of the Kwankwasia movement. Let's talk about the NDC for a moment. Mr. Habibu, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
What is going on in the NDC?
Well, I think you mean NDC Kano or NDC at large?
National. Let's give a national outlook first.
Well, I think NDC, like any other party, is actually working very hard to ensure that credible candidates across the positions emerge as a candidate that will actually lead the party into 2027 general election. And I believe, like every other party, when there is contestation, naturally you are bound to hear issues here and there. And I believe the party has the mechanisms to be able to absorb all the issues being raised here and there, and also ensure that the party move ahead to confront and ensure that we defeat APC in the next coming election.
What we're hearing, so you can help us break it down for us, what exactly the thing is. So we understand that the party's leadership is trying to assert some level of authority as to party supremacy. And part of what that has involved is to, I don't know what to call it, disbandment of movement, whether it's the Obedient or the Kwankwasia movement, which is actually the strength of the NDC, so that it come on as a party, not just an aggregation of movement in this sense. And even something that had to do with sharing formula as to representation in the party's elective position. Help us understand what that is.
Well, first, I think as a movement, or rather as Kwankwasia specifically, I would like to say that for now, we are trying to actually get the details of what that particular pronouncement means, because we believe it's not targeted to us or the Konkosia or the obedient movement, but we believe it's a generic statement. Until we get the details and the content of what that means, clearly we will not be able to see whether we have taken a particular positions or not. But I want to assure you that Konkosia movement is one of the most disciplined movement, and also one of the movement that respects internal and any other regulation within which we agree to work within. And whatever that statement might mean, you understand, Konkosia are more than willing to actually look at it, interrogate it, and also make sure that it has aligned with whatever it is. But the reality before us is that Konkosia has committed itself to the fact that whatever party we are in, we will do all that is necessary to ensure the success of that particular party. And depending on whatever comes out of whatever it is being rolled out, I assure you that we are still holding on to that commitment, and we are still going to work very hard to ensure the success of the party.
Not as if one is envisaging a breakout or a crisis in that sense. But these are possibilities, because politics is about interest. For the Konkosia movement, led by Robio Konkoso, the former governor of Kano State, what will be the deal breaker in some of this rejigging of the opposition called the NDC? And what will be the proposition that the NDC, the Konkosia movement will make and say, here, please, this is how far you can go as far as this movement is concerned. If you cross this line, then we may have an issue.
Well, I think in every party, as well as in every contest, there are defined rules of engagement. You understand? Like I told you, we are a very disciplined organization, and we play by all the rules. You understand? For example, primaries were held across the nation on the 29th of the last month. Processes were followed up to the latter. Build up to that, there was also a consensus arrangement which no party member was excluded. Everybody is expected to actually play by that rule. And I believe all the Konkosia members have followed to that level up to a point where consensus candidates emerge in all the offices. And also follow up to that on 29, like it goes around all the country. Affirmation was conducted, and also the party members, as well as INEC, as well as other relevant agencies that are supposed to be there, are actually there. And we have submitted, as is requested, to the national leadership of the party, the names of those that have emerged through that particular process, which we believe is guided strictly by law and by regulations of both the party and that of the INEC, and in tandem with the guidelines of the 2027 Electoral Act. Now, it's left for the party also to build on that and do the needful. And I assure you, the deal breaker for Konkosia has always been bending the rules, has always been actually things that we see that will not help actualize not our own interest, but also the larger interest of the party. So we are law-abiding people, and we stick to that rules. Where there are rules, we expected those rules to be followed to the latter, not only for ourselves, but for the development of democracy itself and any other political party that we associate ourselves with. That's it.
Thanks. Now, let's talk about Kano for a moment. With Kano, how much of the non-Konkosia movement members have been nominated by the party to be elected in the general election, whether it's at the national level of the Senate or House of Reps, or the state level as governor and members of the House of Assembly?
Well, I think if you are following the trends of the happenings, you discover that there are people that even joined the party just 2 days to the concession building. We have members representing, we have Megidarua and several others like that. Now, what we do in Kano is not just about Konkosia alone. We ensure that everybody who has interest in contesting the election understand the processes because there are processes laid down. And I believe all of them partake into that particular process. Now, for me to begin to count people that are not Concosia members that are there, I believe we have a host of so many of them, even though at that particular point in time, everybody that joined in Kano will tell you that he also joined Concosia at the same time. So it's going to be very difficult for you to say this one is not Concosia, this one is. But what I believe is that the process that bring about all the candidates there was a very transparent process. Not only the Concosia members are there, the party leadership is also there throughout the consensus process, and not a single person from anywhere, you understand, complained during the process, and even days after the process. Remember, the issue of this rumor of substituting social persons or complaint from social persons emanate only after 9 or 10 days of even the affirmation and the process of the primaries were concluded. So therefore, to us, there were no grievances as far as the process is concerned until this rumor that we have seen circulating around. And remember, Concosia does not sell form, so that Concosia cannot be accused of denying anybody form. It is the party that sells form to all persons that wanted to contest election, you understand, and even inclusive of the Concosia members as well. So I don't think at what point will you say that Concosia has stopped others from partaking into a process. And if there is a consensus, the general belief and the rule is that even if it is just one single person that did not agree to that particular consensus, he has right to insist on primary election.
All right, Habibu, before we begin to wind down, my apologies, let me come in so that we can domesticate this conversation around Kano. I was kind of surprised that Gawuna was not given the ticket for governor in this state, because it looked like he had left the APC, left his appointed position, joined the ADC. Did he join the ADC? I can't remember. I think he joined the ADC now. Literally, a Concosia himself. What is the political permutation as far as the fate of Gawuna? And do you think that will impact the chance of the NDC and the Concosia movement's performance in the 2027 governorship election in Kano State? If you can do that in 1.5 minutes.
Well, I believe you know that Gawuna is one of our senatorial candidates, you understand, Kano Central to be precise. So it's not as if Gawuna has lost in these schemes of things. But like I told you, Concosia is one big family of which our decisions are taken based on current realities and also with the support and willingness of all the parties involved. You understand? And I have not seen anywhere where Gawuna complained that he was not happy that he was not given gubernatorial slot. He agreed to the decision, and I believe very much he is working very hard to ensure the success of the party in the state. So therefore, I think it's nothing personal actually. Like I told you, several other people have showed interest in contesting one particular position or the other, but at the end of the day, they end off settling through consensus to maybe a position that is not what exactly they have gone for. Several members that have contested or aspire to be candidate of the National Assembly end up being nominated as candidate for the State House of Assembly. And I believe all of us believe in that this is a complete, total aspiration of all, you understand, have agreed to all these nominations because the target is to ensure that we have placed people that will bring in the vote that will help the party actually secure the victory at the end of the day.
Habibu Mailemo is an NDC member, also an aspirant in this election, a candidate, I should say. Thank you so much for coming on the program. I appreciate it. He's also the spokesperson of the Concosia movement, and I think that's the more important one right now. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Ozoma. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.